Ladies and gentlemen, travellers and adventurers, welcome to this video of idiomatic travel, and oh boy are you in for a linguistic journey like no other. What makes our travels even more fascinating are the idiomatic expressions that have sprouted from our collective experiences on the road. These idioms are rooted in the history of travel, so let's embark on this idiomatic expedition and let us remember that language, much like travel itself, is a bridge connecting us to the world, its people, and the remarkable stories that unfold along the way. So let's dive in. To be at the crossroads. This is an English idiom expression with a figurative meaning. It refers to a point in one's life or situation where they are facing an important decision or a critical juncture. The expression is often used to convey a sense of uncertainty and the need to make a significant choice that will impact their future. The meaning of crossroads is when someone is said to be at the crossroads. It means they are at a pivotal moment in their life or situation where they must make an important choice. This choice can have far-reaching consequences and may determine the course of their future. Some sample sentences. Dick is at the crossroads of his career. He's been offered a job in a different city and he needs to decide whether to take it or stay here. Our company is at the crossroads of innovation. We have to decide whether to invest in new technology or stick with our current methods. The country is at the crossroads of a political change. The upcoming elections will determine the direction our nation takes in the next decade. Fiona found herself at a personal crossroads after the breakup. Fiona had to try to choose between trying to reconcile or moving on with her life. As a student, I was at the crossroads of choosing my major. It was a challenging decision that would shape my academic journey and career prospects. In these sentences, at the crossroads signifies a critical moment where a decision must be made and the outcome is uncertain. It emphasises the need for careful consideration and the recognition that the chosen path will have significant consequences. To be in the driver's seat. To be in the driver's seat is an idiomatic expression in English that has both a literal and a figurative meaning. The literal meaning of to be in the driver's seat is to be physically seated in the position of control in a vehicle, typically a car. In this context, the person in the driver's seat is responsible for steering, accelerating, and making decisions about the vehicle's direction and speed. The figurative meaning of to be in the driver's seat is used to describe someone who is in a position of control, influence, or authority in a particular situation or endeavour. When someone is in the driver's seat, figuratively, it means they are the one making the important decisions and directing the course of events. Some sample sentences. I'll be in the driver's seat for our road trip so you can relax and enjoy the scenery. Make sure you fasten your seatbelt when you're in the driver's seat. After years of hard work, Fiona is now in the driver's seat of her own successful company. The CEO is in the driver's seat when it comes to making strategic decisions for the organisation. In a democracy, it's important that the citizens feel like they are in the driver's seat when it comes to choosing their leaders through elections. Being in the driver's seat implies a sense of control and responsibility where one is actively shaping the outcome of a situation or is taking charge of their own destiny. To fly under the radar. The idiom to fly under the radar has its origins in aviation terminology. Radar is a system that uses radio waves to detect and locate objects, including aircraft in the sky, as well as boats on the water. Pilots often use their knowledge of radar to avoid detection, especially during military operations or covert missions. Flying under the radar means that operating in a way that avoids detection by radar systems. Over time, the phrase has evolved to have a broader figurative meaning beyond aviation, referring to avoiding attention, scrutiny, or detection in various contexts. To fly under the radar is an idiomatic expression that means to go unnoticed, remain inconspicuous, or avoid attracting attention or scrutiny. When someone or something is said to be flying under the radar, it implies that they are operating quietly, discreetly, or without drawing much attention to themselves. Some sample sentences. Dick prefers to fly under the radar at work, quietly completing his tasks without seeking recognition. My small startup company managed to fly under the radar of larger competitors until I launched my groundbreaking product. During the investigation, the suspect tried to fly under the radar by changing his appearance and using an alias. The talented artist had been flying under the radar for years, but Fiona's work finally gained widespread recognition after a gallery exhibition. In the world of espionage, successful agents learn how to fly under the radar and blend into their surroundings. The celebrity wanted to enjoy a peaceful vacation, so they chose a remote destination where they could fly under the radar and avoid the paparazzi. In the sentence, to fly under the radar is used to describe a strategy or behaviour that aims to avoid notice or scrutiny. It often implies a deliberate effort to stay low-key or inconspicuous. Neck of the woods. The phrase neck of the woods is of English origin and is believed to have been used as early as the 17th century. It originally referred to a particular geographic area or locality within a forested region, often characterised by a narrow strip of land or a specific area surrounded by woods or wilderness. Over time, the phrase evolved to have a more general and figurative meaning, referring to any specific neighbourhood, region or locality. The meaning of neck of the woods is an idiomatic expression that means a particular area, neighbourhood or region. It is often used conversationally to refer to a place or location without specifying it precisely. It can also imply a sense of familiarity with or connection to the area being discussed. Example sentences. I haven't seen George in years, but I heard he's living in your neck of the woods now. My old friend Fiona from college lives in your neck of the woods, and I'm planning to visit her next month. It's been a while since I visited your neck of the woods. How have things been in your hometown? I've heard there's a great new restaurant in this neck of the woods. We should check it out sometime. Are you familiar with any hiking trails in this neck of the woods? I'd love to explore the outdoors around here. In these sentences, neck of the woods is used to refer to a specific area or location, often in a friendly or conversational context. It allows people to talk about regions or neighbourhoods without being overly precise about the geographical boundaries. To go off the rails. The idiom to go off the rails has its origins in the world of railroads and trains. It is derived from the literal meaning of a train going off its designated tracks or rails. In this context, when a train goes off the rails, it derails, leading to chaos, danger and loss of control. Over time, this literal phrase evolved into a figurative expression used to describe situations, individuals or plans that have deviated from the intended or expected course and are experiencing difficulties or problems. To go off the rails is an idiomatic expression that means to lose control, deviate from the planned or expected path, or experience a significant decline in behaviour, performance, or ordinariness. It is often used to describe situations where things have gone awry, or individuals who are behaving erratically or recklessly. Sample sentences. The project started well, but it quickly went off the rails when the key team members resigned. His life seemed to go off the rails after he lost his job and started making poor decisions. The company's financial situation began to go off the rails when they failed to secure a major contract. The political campaign started with a clear message but went off the rails as scandals and controversies emerge. The classroom was calm at the beginning of the school year, but it went off the rails when the students became unruly and disruptive. The party was supposed to be a small gathering, but it went off the rails when uninvited guests arrived and caused chaos. In these sentences, to go off the rails is used to describe situations where there have been a loss of control, a deviation from the planned course, or a breakdown in the order of expected behaviour. It often conveys a sense of chaos or dysfunction. Running on fumes. The expression running on fumes is derived from the world of motor cars and fuel. It originated from the idea of a car running very low on petrol to the point where it's almost out and is only operating on the remaining fumes in the petrol tank. This situation can be precarious because the car may very soon come to a complete stop due to a lack of petrol. Over time, the phrase has evolved into a figurative expression used to describe individuals or situations that are operating with very little energy, resources, or stamina, and often is near exhaustion or depletion. Running on fumes is an idiomatic expression that means to continue functioning or operating despite being depleted of the necessary resources, energy, or reserves. It suggests that the person or thing is running on the last bit of available capacity and may soon come to a halt or face significant challenges. Example sentences. After working long hours or for several days, I'm running on fumes and I desperately need a break. The team managed to complete the project, but by the end, they were running on fumes due to the tight deadlines and limited resources. The marathon runner was running on fumes in the final stretch of the race, pushing through the exhaustion to reach the finish line. The company had been struggling financially for months and was essentially running on fumes before it declared bankruptcy. I tried to study for the exam, but my brain was running on fumes after staying up all night working on assignments. In these sentences, running on fumes is used metaphorically to convey the idea that someone or something is operating with minimal reserves of energy, often in a state of exhaustion or depletion. I hope you enjoyed this idiomatic journey of travel-related idioms, that you can relate to them and even find a use for them in your everyday English communication. I look forward to seeing you in the next idiomatic related video, and do not forget my word of the day in the YouTube shorts. Well, I'll see you on the flip side.